Namaskaram to all viewers of JyothirMaarg. Dear viewers, Devi Mahaatmyam is a sacred text penned by Rishi Markandeya. It appears in the ancient text called Markandeya Purana. Devi Mahaatmyam has 700 verses. In Sanskrit, 7 is Sapta and 100 is Shata, and hence it is also known as Durga Saptashadi. For those who have not yet got the chance to know more about Devi Mahaatmyam, let me tell you right at the outset. It is the story of the origin of Durga Ma and thereafter the story of her encounters with Mahishasura, Raktabija and demon kings Sumbha and Nisumbha. In the first chapter, Lord Vishnu fighting the demons Madhu and Kaidabha is also described. Dear viewers, about 10 years back, a lady who is very much spiritually oriented presented to me a small book of 72 pages, which was a brief summary of Devi Mahaatmyam in Malayalam language in poetical form. First of all, let me thank that lady for bringing this treasure house of divine blessings into my life and destiny. The author of this text is anonymous and possibly this condensation of Devi Mahaatmyam may be a few centuries old. So let's do pranam to that great and unknown poet for his divine and magnificent creation. Since the day I read this book for the first time till today, I have read it every day in my life because it is so much captivating. I do not wish to elaborate on the greatness of this book or how I have been blessed through its reading over these years. Instead, I am giving you also a chance to listen to this story and to receive blessings in abundance. For this purpose, I have translated it into English language. I had originally done a word-to-word translation, which I am now summarizing a little more and sharing with the viewers of JyothirMaarg. Dear viewers, after the Ganesha festival, now it is the most auspicious NavRathri, the 9 sacred nights. Listen to this narration as many times as possible during these NavRathri days and once daily afterwards also. From my own life and experience, let me tell you, this Devi Mahaatmyam will change your life, a change that will make your life much more better than what it is today, no doubt about that. So now, here is the story of Devi Mahaatmyam unfolding in front of you. Hari Shri Ganapadaye Nama Avikhnamastu. Initially, the poet is doing pranam to Lord Ganesha, Devi Saraswati and all other gods and goddesses and to his teachers and gurus. Every Mannundaram consists of several Chaturyugas. It is a long period of time in the infinity of eternity. The 8th Manu was born to Suryadeva and his wife Savarni in the Chaitra Vamsha. In an earlier birth, the name of this Manu was Suratha, and he ruled over the earth for a very long time, taking care of his subjects as if they were his own children. During that time, several enemy kings joined together and fought with King Suratha, in which the king and his army was defeated by the enemies. Being a king of name, fame and integrity, the enemy kings did not harm Suratha, but allowed him to return to his own kingdom, of course having imposed conditions and regulations. Being a defeated king, Suratha lost his self-respect in his own palace among his own people. Because of his long absence from the palace during the war, the ministers had become powerful and they were the decision makers now. Living a sorrowful life like that, one day the king mounted his horse and left the palace alone in the guise of going on a hunting trip. In the forest, he saw a very beautiful and divine hermitage, which was an ashram wherein lived the great saint by name Sumedhas. The king did pranam to the rishi and touched his feet, and the rishi welcomed the king, and thereafter the king started living there in that hermitage. During the daytime, the king used to wander in the forest aimlessly with a tense mindset. He had taken care of his kingdom and its citizens as if they were his own family. Never once did he deviate from the path of dharma. Still, why did it all happen like this? How are things in the palace right now? What is my wife and children doing now? The kingdom and the palace was just like Devlok. What may be happening there at this moment? Wandering with upsetting and disturbing thoughts like this, one day King Suratha came across a Vaishya in the forest. Vaishya means a merchant. The king asked him, "Who are you, and what are you doing here in this forest? Looking at your face, it seems that something is troubling you. O good man, whatever be the truth, you please tell me everything about yourself." Thereupon the Vaishya replied very politely to the king that he is a merchant and his name is Samadhi. "I am boundlessly rich," said the Vaishya, "but my greedy wife and children mistreated me in such a way that I had to leave my home. Wandering aimlessly, I have reached this forest." The Vaishya further said that he is worried about what is happening at home, whether his wife and children were happy or unhappy, whether they were living in a rightful manner or doing things in the right way or the wrong way. And also, what might have happened to those good men who were very loyal and sincere to him. "I am worried because these thoughts are haunting me all the time," said the merchant. Listening to his story, the king said, "Your wife and children were not fair to you, and because of them you had to leave your home. Still, your mind is worried about them and their welfare. Why is it like that?" The Vaishya admitted that the king is telling the truth, but he didn't have an answer to the king's question. Talking like that, the king and the Vaishya approached Rishi Sumethas. They prostrated in front of the Rishi, touching his feet. Thereafter, the king spoke like this, "O Bhagavan, we wish to ask your highness something about which we are confused." Then the king explained how he and the Vaishya were feeling about their family members and others, irrespective of how they were treated by those individuals. "Even though we are educated, why are we still thinking and behaving like fools?" the king asked. Listening to the king, the Rishi replied, "Every creation has a certain knowledge and wisdom necessary for its survival from birth to death. But the knowledge and wisdom of human beings is much more than other creations. Some of them can see during daytime and others can see in darkness. Human beings are supposed to be balanced between these two groups, but in fact, they are not. Birds and animals bring up their offsprings with lots of care and difficulty, but once they are grown up, the parents do not expect anything back from them. On the other hand, human beings, because of their ignorance and moham, have great expectations from their children. This moham is caused by Mahamaya Devi, who can also bless us with mukti and moksham. Srishti, Sthiti, Samhar, giving blessings as well as taking away everything, all these are done by that Mahamaya Devi, who is also living and ruling inside Lord Vishnu. This Devi only makes Lord Vishnu to go into the oblivion of Yoga Nidra or the long sleep, and it is the same Devi who wakes him up also." Listening to this, the king asked the Rishi, "This Mahamaya Devi, how is her origin? How is her appearance? What is her real name, nature, and activities?" Rishi Sumethas was very happy to listen to such divine questions, because then and there, in his vision, he saw that great things were going to happen in the life of the king and the Vaishya. Rishi Sumethas replied to the king and Vaishya like this, "The origin of Vishnu Maya or Mahamaya Devi is unknown even to Lord Vishnu and others also. Parabrahmam and Mahamaya. Please know that these are beyond our understanding, but I can enlighten you through her legends, stories, and chronicles. These stories will give answers to your questions and clear all your doubts." Kalpam is a very long period of time consisting of several yugas. At the end of a kalpam, it was water and water only everywhere. Lord Vishnu was in Yoga Nidra on his serpent bed. That time, two very powerful dark forces, whom we refer to as demons or asuras, by name Madhu and Kaidabha, took life from the earwax of Lord Vishnu. They saw Brahma, who was seated in the lotus flower, which originated from the navel of Lord Vishnu. These powerful demons wanted to spend their might on Brahma by killing him. In spite of Brahma's efforts, Lord Vishnu didn't wake up from his sleep to protect him from these twin demons. So Brahmadeva started worshipping Mahamaya Devi, under whose power and influence Lord Vishnu was sleeping. Brahmadeva ended his prayers saying that Devi's divinity is beyond anybody's capability to describe. And now, this very moment, Lord Vishnu may be awakened from his Moha Nidra, and that the demons Madhu and Kaidaba may be brought under the spell of Devi's Maya or illusion, and Lord Vishnu may then destroy Madhu and Kaidaba with her grace, kindness and blessings. When invoked by Brahma like this, the Devi withdrew herself from Lord Vishnu, who then woke up and was pleased to see Mahamaya Devi showering her divine grace on him. Then the great and powerful Vishnu stood in the way of Madhu and Kaidaba, stopping them from reaching Brahmadeva, and engaged himself in a battle with them. 5,000 divine years went by and they were still fighting without any loss of intensity or strength. Because of being taken over by the illusionary power of Mahamaya Devi, Madhu and Kaidaba now thought Lord Vishnu will never be able to defeat them. In their state of mind, filled with ahankar or ego, they told Lord Vishnu that he can ask for a boon from them. Thereupon, the Lord asked from them this boon, that he should be able to kill them, and also said that he didn't want anything else from them. Now, Madhu and Kaidaba realized that they got themselves deceived, and then they thought for a while. Looking around, wherever they could see, it was water only. There was no land. So they told Vishnu that he can kill them, but it should not be in water. Lord Vishnu agreed to that, and keeping their heads on his broad and huge thighs of cosmic dimensions, cut off their heads with his Sudarshan Chakra. Brahmadeva was relaxed to see this and was relieved from his fear. Out of the medhas, meaning the thick fluid that came out of Madhu and Kaidaba, Lord Vishnu made the earth and put it in a proper orbit to revolve and rotate around the sun. Having been made out of the medhas, earth got the name Medini. Thus ends the first chapter of Devi Mahaatmyam. There are 12 more chapters to narrate.